Welcome back all to the Riyadh Masters as we get into tiebreaker mode. Here in Group A, we've got 3 teams in 4th position vying for that upper bracket playoff spot, as Wagga, 9Pandas, EG and LGD all going to be battling best of ones.
Yes, we're heading into the round robin here. We're going to have EG and 9Panda go up against each other first. For those who don't know how this tiebreaker is going to work, it's going to be best of ones. It's going to be round robin, meaning 3 teams are fighting for 1 spot in this case. Sometimes we have 2 spots, but this time it's 1. Which means we just need to see a single one of these teams get 2 wins, and that would be the end of it. So EG 9Panda go up first. The winner proceeds and fight LGD. If the winner will win that round, then the tiebreakers are decided, and that will be our ultimate champion. But we'll see how it goes. LGD, they get to sit back and watch a little bit here and see what EG and 9Pandas are doing, but they have to fight whoever wins, and if they don't win that, then they're out.
Yeah, and I know I might have confused some people. I tweeted out and posted in chat about infinite tiebreakers. That's not a possibility, sadly, for all of us here who wanted to go and burn the midnight oil with best of ones. There will be 2 sets. I know, I'm sorry, Waka. We'll get plenty of games, though, for sure. I think there's within the realms of good possibility here, we go into those 2 sets with the teams we've got involved. But yeah, we've got the first round, win 2 games, and you're through to that playoffs. The tiebreakers are broken. But if we do get that kind of tie between all the teams, we'll have another set, and then we'll have to break the tie in a different fashion after that. But of course, up first, we've got 9Pandas against evilgeniuses, best of 1. And I believe I just heard the little noise in the back of my head. The lobby started, draft is about to be underway. And it should be super exciting here because all 3 of these teams feel like they're on a pretty level playing field.
Definitely. I think that this is a really good one. We have 2 tiebreakers. There's also one going on in the other group, but this one is for the upper slots. I want to correct, in case someone thought they're out. I just meant out of the tiebreaker, not out of the tournament. They still will go into a lower bracket. This is simply a tiebreaker for upper bracket positioning here. You want to get yourself in a good position going into the main event. And of course, in the other tiebreaker, it is do or die, as 2 teams will be eliminated and only one will progress forward.
Yeah, fighting for your tournament life over on that other stream. Keep your multi-monitors open. Every stream available to you. Watch them all. We'll get ourselves into the draft here. Best of 1. As we do get the Snapfire and Legion banned out by 9Pandas. We've seen that Legion for EG in the hands of Whisper and Pakaz. And C-Smile, all 3 core roles, they're able to grab it up. And Snapfire, I don't know, hero over the past 6 months or so, has been exceptional.
Yeah, she's been very strong. And yeah, like you said, Legion for EG, they haven't lost on it still. They are, I think, 5 wins and 0 losses. They are doing fantastic on it. And the versatility that hero brings them by being able to flex their roles is very useful. As we see Undying get removed here by EG in the first phase, not wanting to give that really strong lane support to give Ramses a good game over on the side of 9Pandas. That means, though, that they slip through this Broodmother. And that's a scary hero to give to 9Pandas as well, as Ramses, one of the best Brood players in the world as well, can easily take that towards the carry role, but we might also, of course, see it on the offlane position.
Yeah, I mean, I think during the group stage at Lima, they played Kiyotaka mid-brood as well, so you've got that, little bit of additional flex just in case you wanted it if some matchups are good. And I've had a little birdie in my ear. I believe that the final set of tiebreakers, now after the 2 sets we've got in best of 1s, we'll have 1v1s to try and figure out who's going to be going into that upper bracket. So that should be exciting.
I really want it to happen, Gareth. Come on, now they really have to make... Come on, teams, you can do 2 rounds of everyone drawing out against each other, and then I get to watch some 1v1s. I'm down, dude.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine that, right? Nothing to say. Kiyotaka and C-Smile round robin best of 1. It's going to be wild. That's down the line. That's in the future. We can cross that bridge when we come to it. Back into the best of 1 action. Timbersaw for EG. And honestly, any other team, I've kind of been worried about first phase Timber, but when you've got Whisper, I'm much more comfortable with it.
Yeah, Whisper, he knows his ins and outs on this hero. I mean, we talk about how, they can flex this hero, it can be this or that. On EG, you see Timber, you know what's happening. It's going to be Whisper. He plays it extremely well, and he obviously is probably pretty happy with this patch considering how impactful Timbersaw is just by being a real powerhouse in the current patch. Very highly respected. And look at that. We see what looks to be 4 core heroes snagged up in the first phase here. The Doom coming out as a reaction to the Timber and the Storm. Good amount of control against them. The Infernal Blade is pretty good against Timbersaw, and of course the ulti is great against either of them.
And just laying your cards on the table, saying, here, that's what we got. I mean, Doom could switch into Antares' hands as a pos 4, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it develops. Naga Siren and Silence are now being banned out, so giving a bit more coverage for this Timbersaw and Storm to keep that aggressive, maneuverable style going.
I feel like that Silencer could have been a really good pick in the first phase there, but 9Pandas prioritizing getting this Doombringer instead. Always useful though. He scales very well into late game as well. The control of Doom is a little bit more reliable than Silencer, which at some point you might have Lotuses, you might have BKBs, you know, there will be Dispels. So different approach here, but we might see support get targeted pretty heavily here with the bans, as of course we might see both teams hiding their carry, but with 4 core heroes picked this early, by the looks of things. Silencer, Caudle.
Well, the last 4 times they've picked, 9Pandas have played a lot of Doom this tournament. Last 4 times it has been pos 4 Doom, so that's probably a signal there that it's still going to be Antares' hero. But I think you're right, it's still, you know, an indication of this could be Ramses, this could be Kiyotaka, Antares, Miero, don't know where these heroes are going. Keeping things super flexible. And that Alchemist ban, he's been a star hero for 9Pandas to pull out these wins.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a curveball and a hero that not many other teams are using. So EG, they haven't really been playing it themselves. Just get rid of it, get that out of the way. And I like that they, on the side of 9Pandas, are protecting their Broodmother as well with a ban on the Naga Siren there early. Now, let's see if they are concerned about some other form illusions. There's still TB available, there's still PL available, but I think Timbersaw can... Timbersaw already threatens Brood Spiders. We'll see how they want to approach it here on EG.
Yeah, things start getting a little wonky, right, with all these core heroes picked up so early on. We've still got this Bat Rider out there as a possibility that both teams have been loving to pick up, but when you don't have that flexibility, you no longer feel it's, you know, that strong of a pick, so you're looking at more of these consistent position 4s and 5s, like, you know, Undying being banned Silencer, then going into the Clockwork, Enchantress as options. Even ET, who's been a rising hero through this tournament, could pop himself out into the draft.
Yeah, Elder Titan usually getting picked a little bit more when we see those big armor agi heroes come out. Like, if we were to see this Morphling that they just banned out here, then ET would rise in value a lot. But you can still grab it. I mean, it's good setup in general, and even without massive combinations, ET can still just be a potent threat in team fights.
10 seconds remaining.
Do you think both teams are also considering this Meepo, who's been a last pick cheese grab by a lot of squads? Like, have they covered their bases enough with a couple of picks already?
I think Meepo could definitely work for the side of EG, but it's kind of complicated. If they're on Meepo, it has to be a carry Meepo at this point, which is doable, but I don't think we're going to see it out of 9Pandas, most likely here, with the heroes that they're running so far.
Well, we do see the Bat and the Ench, those heroes I mentioned, that once we get rid of this Silencer and Dying and stuff like that, they're still looking pretty popular. Witch Doctor, a curious one though. Not picked by many other teams, but this is a hero that Solo does fall back on. Very solid in his hands, honestly.
Yeah, it's a hero that might be a little bit underrated for certain things. It can be good for, you know, the cast stun duration onto the Ench creeps, but even just Maledict against Timbersaw, this massively tanky hero, if you Maledict him and then dish in some damage, you can actually get a lot of value out of a hero like him. And Witch Doctor ulti does destroy Ench pretty fast, so it's a way to kill her. A lot of supports really struggle to deal with Ench. I like the combination they're getting here with the Bat Rider as well, adding in a lot of magic damage. You need to have it if you're going to be able to deal with the Timbersaw come mid-game or post-laning phase. And they also set up a little bit, having more disables against this Storm Spirit.
Yeah, right. And yeah, thinking about kind of mid to late game, having Doom and Bat Rider, some of these supreme control heroes against the Storm and the Timber, just single target, grab them, take them out of the team fight. And potentially... I mean, yeah, I just keep thinking back to this position 1 Doom that Ramses has pulled out from time to time. Like, Antares, Bat, Miero, Brood, potential for, like, this Ramses Doom plus a Witch Doctor, Infernal Blade and Maledict against the Timber. Whisper could actually struggle in the laning stage.
That's true. It could be very threatening. I'm still not sure that you want to play the matchup of being a carry Doom against the Timber. It's a little bit worrisome for me about the Whirling Death, but your damage output is certainly there. But even just even just running the safe lane Brood though, I think she would be able to just farm away pretty happily there. Timber doesn't really have... He has a lot of damage, but Brood has so much sustainability, she'll probably be fine.
Insatiable Hunger plus the webs, keep her topped up. And then, you know, we talked about Cask and Maledict, but honestly, Witch Doctor, the most recent builds have been maxing out that Voodoo Restoration. You know, think about gaming Gladiators with their Aya Witch Doctor lane. It does offer you a hell of a lot of sustain and that AoE damage. It's like a baby Pulse Nova.
It's sort of like that, yeah. You can basically just trade hits. You know, if you skill up the heal and the Maledict, you can fight. It's pretty hard for a lot of heroes to try and outlast what he can do as well. So I'm curious to see how Solo is gonna run this laning stage, since Witch Doctor definitely a hero that we haven't seen too much of here. Other teams kind of not acknowledging his potential, I think.
His existence.
Yeah, or that even.
Just completely ignored. Well, one of Matthew's pesky heroes now gone, as it does look like EG are looking for that position 4 at the end. Bounty Hunter out, might consider the Rubik as an option as well. He's been pretty solid on that hero, and always this Rubik Timbersaw lane going to be solid. You can leave Timber alone for a little bit once he gets level 3, go stack, go control runes.
Yeah, I would like to see them do what they've done before, just get Matthew on a hero that can scout out and provide vision here. I mean, they ban out the Bounty Hunter. I wonder if they're going to double down and ban out the Clinks as well here on 9Pandas, something we saw him be very successful on before. They don't ban it, so it's available. I mean, Clinks could set up vision for Storm to come in with the ganks, and while Clinks is, you know, not super popular, we've seen what he can do. Matthew just absolutely destroyed a game on it before.
Oh yeah, he absolutely has. I mean, one thing they are lacking a little bit here is control for EG. They've got a lot of chasing and damage, gap close from these speedy and maneuverable heroes. I definitely would like to see Matthew have something with a consistent guaranteed stun against this Brood for sure. Spirit Breaker could be an option as well. He's been used as a bit of a counter to the Brood, and does give you that ability to scout out and advance forward, as 9Pandas round things out with a Juggernaut. So looking like it's going to be that offlane Brood still.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Miro is just going to be playing that. I mean, they could still run Kiyotaka Brood here. This is definitely possible as well, and just do the Batrider Doom off lane with Witch Doctor Juggernaut safe lane and mid Brood. It depends who they want to send. They can do mid Batrider or they can do mid Brood. I don't think Brood does that great against Storm, but it's not bad. It's still completely playable. You can dodge the Q quite easily, and you have more than enough sustainability to out-sustain him. And you called for it. I was going to go back to it as well, because I think you made a good point. The Spirit Breaker already was a good pick, and then they picked Juggernaut as well, which is a hero that is a pretty susceptible hero to getting charged, getting ultied by Spirit Breaker, even just getting bashed. You want to have the safety when you play Jug, that, I can always spin TP out. And if you have that safety, you can split push so hard, and he did until this point. But now that Matthew is in the game on Spirit Breaker, Ramses cannot push all the way to tier 2 towers. He cannot keep going, because there will always be that little fear in the back of his head, like, I can't get out of here if they do gank me.
Yeah, and then that weird conversation about, you know, late game scaling, who's going to feel more comfortable heading out of the laning stage into mid game, adding a Spirit Breaker there with a Storm and Timbersaw often makes you feel like, even if you can get ahead and you've got a Juggernaut who feels like a real good late game, end game carry, if you get caught, all that net worth can just go down the drain. EG always going to be available with these moves.
Yeah, it can. I think it's going to be a co-carry situation here. So it is going to be Kiyotaka taking up the Brood. So I think he's going to get pretty strong as well, go for that right-clicker build, as we see Miero take the Doom. So Juggernaut, he does have some counters to him in this game, but I still think that it's not a bad game necessarily for him. And both teams coming in with what looks like pretty well-rounded, pretty nice drafts here. EG maybe with a little bit of lockdown weaknesses, but they make up for it by having, you know, other strengths in sustainability like Timber and Bloodseeker.
Yeah, I mean, are you leaning one way or the other draft-wise?
Probably a slight 9Pandas edge for me. I would say the Broodmother is a very, very powerful hero, and Doom Batrider looks really solid, and I can't really complain too much about this as a Juggernaut game. So a lot of it comes down to the mid. How is this matchup gonna go, and how will the different playstyles go here? Because Kiyotaka on his Brood, he's going to try and, you know, control the map the way Broodmother does, but Storm has a different approach. He's a very gank-heavy hero, unlike Brood, who basically tries to occupy a big area. So if Storm can get ganks going and try to mobilize his team a lot, then I think we could see EG take over the game.
Yeah, I mean, even just thinking back to the group stage proper and how it went in their best of two, EG 2-0'd 9Pandas in about 30 minutes per game. Both of those matches had Enchantress, so potential here for a little bit of a mentality coming into this best of one, where Enchantress has undone 9Pandas' work, because that can be the kind of hero that gets you that laning advantage, allows you to snowball and get the momentum going.
So this game is actually 10 Pandas then? Because we have EG Panda and then we have 9Pandas?
Yeah, it is. So many pandas! It's always like this. 9Pandas against EG, and then it's 9Pandas against Tundra, where there's 9Pandas against 9. Oh, always yes. Rattles my brain.
We also had C-Smile against YU Smile.
C-Smile wasn't smiling in that game, let me tell you.
He really wasn't.
Smiling
with tears running down his cheeks, crying.
Yep. Really frowning. Well, early days here. Get ourselves out across the map. Yep, thank you. Blood grenade, check. That's what we like to see. 3 on EG, 2 on 9Pandas, but they're likely to ferry more out as we get these bounty runes picked up. Ramses and his boys looking at that top bounty rune there with Whisper in the river, while EG trying to set themselves up a little base camp down near the bottom rune spot, eyeing up the Doom across the river themselves. A sneaky little move from the back, though, coming in behind.
Oh, flame break. Easy.
Nice. Very well done. 3-1. Advantage 9Pandas already.
Yeah, and he's not really gonna lose anything immediately for it. He goes down and goes around. Doesn't want to get caught up here by the Enchantress, and she's pretty fast. Oh, this body block is dangerous that he's doing now. Like, he's not gonna die, but getting zoned out here a little bit. Yeah, not allowing him to do what he wants and blocking the creep wave.
And is that going to put Dire Wave in tower?
I think it does, yeah.
It does.
It is barely on the tower, so that little bit of block he got in there does mean that the lane is going to push immediately, giving Miero an easier time. Such a small move, but still impactful.
And immediately EG trying to remedy this a bit by playing aggressively, but they take a beating from this Bat and Doom, needing the Enchantress to pull out the heal at level 1. I have a little bit of calm in that lane for now, though, as like you said, the wave will push back a little bit. And C-Smile in that mid lane against the Brood.
Yeah, C-Smile on a Storm should be coming out ahead here a little bit, I feel, at least early levels, that Storm can use his mana to just kind of dominate first 2 waves of CSing.
Get that early advantage.
7-2
every time
5-0.
Every time I look bottom, Picard is like past the creep wave, hitting me arrow as often as he can. And burning through quite a lot of this early regen.
We haven't talked about top lane, but top lane we have shenanigans going on as well, as pulls behind towers has happened for both the teams. So we see Juggernaut happily farming away with a very nice amount of denies.
Yeah, sitting pretty up there. C-Smile taking quite a hefty hit from Kiyotaka as there's this creep manipulation, just dragging waves all around the map. Try and get these early CS last hits in.
Interesting to see he didn't go for a point in Q on Brood yet. He goes for a 0-2-1 build, wants that passive HP regen and a little bit extra movement speed, of course.
Yeah, dodges that remnant. Speedy Broodmother dipping back into the webs. Could go and grab the water rune down bottom, but for now it's C-Smile who's got that little advantage pushing the wave out with remnants, gets the rune control. Might find both for himself to refill that bottle. We do see a courier snipe.
Yeah, the courier goes down. Pakas had a lot of movement speed, of course, because of Brood being super low on mid lane. So he goes really fast. I like the choice as well to go Blood Grenade on Bloodseeker. This is a lore-friendly item, you know, you gotta buy it.
What is he going around with a little glass bottle, stealing blood from people, bottling up, selling it on eBay?
He should get blood grenades when he kills people. He should just put a blood grenade in his inventory. Well, that's a buff to Bloodseeker, give it.
They should just change blood grenade. You buy an empty... your empty bottle should be gathering up blood grenade charges. After a kill.
I'm listening, sounds good.
Rebrand urn, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Solo, gonna grab the Lotus. Down at bottom, looks like Panda gets his hand on that one. Again, EG just skipping past creep waves to get these little advantages in this laning stage. Picaz finds himself in a pretty decent spot at the top of the last hit chart, 21 and 5. Even after that, little bit of nonsense at the start with the body blocks and the waves moving around. But look at this wraparound. Coming in behind, Miero, he's been gone on by Panda and Pakar's first blood for the Bloodseeker.
Solo's
in behind, here? Solo's Witch Doctor has arrived, wanting the trade. It's going to be the Enchantress that gets burnt to a crisp. Venison for dinner there for 9Pandas. Up at top lane, okay, Ramsey's just coming in to try and contest the dragging wave that's been going on.
Yeah, Ramsey's doing really great though with these pulls that are happening still. Whisper kind of behind in CSing, but now finally cashing in and getting quite a few here on the tower, as the Juggernaut has to just back and try to get the lane in a decent position.
Bottle refill and a charge into mid. Kiyotaka. Matthew finds himself on the bottom of the river, but with that blood grenade and the vortex in, see Smile. Turn around from Kiyotaka, never going to be enough. Level 1 insatiable hunger. Not going to keep him in fighting shape, so a big kill on that mid laner.
That's a good takedown. Nice rotation there, playing for the runes. I mean, they TP'd in for bottle refill. Might as well try and go for a gank as well. And when you have Timber offlane, that's the type of hero that you can leave. I think Timber also facilitates this Spirit pick, who's now coming bottom. Charging through.
There it goes through the Doom, into Solo's Witch Doctor. A little bash into Blood Right. I'm just going to clip Solo there. Pakars doesn't really want to be running through this tornado and the creep wave. Needs Panda to arrive in this bottom lane. And 5 minutes in, we've got tri-lane action down south. I feel pretty happy just leaving Timbersaw alone.
They got a little purge creep as well. Very nice creep for Ench here to try and harass the enemy, be aggressive, as they have their own pull spot available. But right now it's Dire getting pulled.
Yeah, I mean, mid lane again, there's a charge coming in. He's coming in hot, Matthew. See Smile was trying to body block and get in front of this Brood. Might be able to land another Remnant and Overload. Kiyotaki, yeah, gets to tier 2, and the TP from Antares going to make sure that not only do they defend the Brood, but they can turn on to Sea Smile. 2 blood grenades, Solo and Antares, really sticking it to this Storm Spirit and really alleviating the pressure from the Broodmother there.
Yeah, that was an optimistic attempt to try and kill there. They didn't have the pull anymore on Storm, so hard committing, going under that dive. You see the movement speed of Broodmother. She has 3 points in the web already. She does not get run down by a Storm Spirit, especially not at this point. Like, Storm didn't have ulti yet. She just easily gets away there.
Looking 6 minutes in, the only one kind of struggling, the Doom, 18 and 4, but he'll have his Devour. Should be able to catch up and accelerate. And I believe his Vanguard's coming on Courier now as well, so that's going to bolster his laning stage. There's another charge non-stop from Matthew so far. From left to right and back into mid. Sea Smile's connection onto Solo grabs him the kill. They did tag him with the Flamebreak and Maledict though, so Sea Smile getting burnt here and limited mana pool remaining. Balls across to the left-hand side. Blood grenade thrown his way. Fairy Fire popped. He's got some bottle charges and he's under tower. Looks like he's surviving. But it's a scary, scary situation.
If they had level 6 on the Broodmother there, but she's behind the Storm in experience a little bit. Didn't get her level 6 quite yet, so she can't spawn Spiderlings. Else that was maybe a kill.
Stupendous.
And in the meantime, Timbersaw, Whisper has booted Ramses out of this top lane. He cracks level 6 before the Juggernaut does.
Yeah, Juggernaut is smoking back towards top together with a Witch Doctor, but right now it is Whisper controlling the lane very handily here, holding on to it and getting very nice experience before he even gets level 6, managing to force the Juggernaut to go bases. Very surprising to me.
Yeah, just saw Ramsey spinning, TPing. 7 minutes comes. Wisdom runes 1 apiece. What's the answer to this Timbersaw right now? You were talking about it the other day. Is it head in the sand time?
Pretty much, yes. They're going to try and leech experience there, and Juggernaut currently just looking for farm wherever he can. He will take the push as it's coming in now. A lot of creeps coming in under his tower. He can safely farm this with a bit of heal from his Witch Doctor as well. Timber's around, but Jug should be completely fine here. Bottom lane, though. Charge.
Yeah, this Doom caught up with the Bloodright and the Rupture on him. Solo lands a pretty nice Maledict there. Going to be forcing EG back. Panda gets the sprites out to heal him up a touch. Miero actually stands his ground with that Vanguard. Tanks through the majority of the damage.
Yeah, just too tanky for them to really finish the job there. He didn't panic, he didn't start running or anything, just stood there, trusting his team, knew they had the heal coming in, and both the supports playing around him.
Oh, and here's the efficiency from Whisper. Dragging waves into creep camps, they're stacked up. Juicy goal for him to take. Yeah, this guy's going to be stacked.
forces Juggernaut away. So not only are you being efficient for yourself there on Whisper, but also limiting the amount of farm that Ramses can find here. Ramses having a very hard time on the safe lane.
Yeah, this has been one of those games where the laning stage barely lasted a couple of minutes. It's broken down so early on with twin gate rotations, charges, and moves around. These early items could potentially get delayed with the amount of aggression that's coming out of both of these teams. So far, it's been 9Pandas, reacting and trying to keep themselves alive. Solo's here to defend the Juggernaut, who throws the Omni Slash out just to stay alive. Survives against Whisper, and Panda's immediate move up top.
Omni Slash on cooldown, though, and that was a TP expanded. They don't get anything immediately for it as well. We'll see what they do with Storm now. Storm is going base. He's going to TP out somewhere and gank. Mid, Matthew is getting dove. He's charging away, though.
Yeah, so what are these key early timings we're looking at for both teams?
Miero.
Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right. The ball lightning TP rotation. He called for it. C-Smile picks his spot, and with the magic damage, he'll burn through that Doom, even as tanky as he was.
Yeah, so you were saying, what were you asking about?
So these key item timers, we're kind of looking at Maelstrom Bloodseeker as a normal one, but when does 9Pandas feel comfortable to go and fight? Or are they... Oh, hang on. Is Panda?
I think non-stop right now around Timber and Storm, and just let Bloodseeker farm. As we see here, the Timber just cutting people to pieces. And oh no, the stack is exposed as well.
Oh yeah, it is. Hunterus, he's trying to get as much as he can out of this. Hurricane back by the Wild Wing. And with these Timber chains forward, Whisper, Matthew, and Panda. Oh, C-Smile in the mid lane. Hey up, Kiyotaka gets a solo kill. Back to the action though, as the Bat Rider is slain by the Chakram of Timber. A double kill for Whisper, but a big pick-off there for Kiyotaka.
Kiyotaka finding a very good time to go as Storm came back mid after ganking bottom. He didn't have that much mana anymore, and Kiyotaka correctly identified a chance for him to just commit and go for the kill. And going for this multiple points in the Silken Bola build, I think it's working out well for him here. A lot of Broods usually go for the max Q pretty early and just keep 1 point Silken Bola, but the increased slow that he has here with Silken Bola I think is really, really helping him out.
Yeah, especially since it looks like he's going for that kind of universal damage stats build, right? Going for the Echo Saber?
Yeah, he will still go for a damage build. It's just, the slow facilitates him actually attacking things more. And he didn't need to max Q in laning stage, so this build just looks overall stronger right now. Especially if Storm ever runs out of mana. They want the Brood, though.
They absolutely do. Charge, Ball Lightning. See, Smile gets the Vortex, but he's bashed up to the high ground. Stays up there, and Kiyotaka's fine. C-Smile is eyeing up all those spiderlings, but doesn't want to go too far forward.
And that was 800 mana expended. It's very costly to make those moves as a Storm and not get a kill. You basically want to get paid for all the mana that you use, whether it's for farming or getting enemy kills. But if you jump like that, don't get the spiders, don't get the Brood, it really hurts you as Storm. So back to jungle he goes. Now they know, though, that he can't really make a big gank as easily.
But yeah, the framing of my question around the kind of item timings and decisions here was mainly a question around 9Pandas and how much can they weather the storm? What kind of late game timing are they looking for? Is it just wait for Jug to get big, or have they got intermediary timings that they can look at poke EG here?
Yeah, I think they can fight around the Doom possibly, but we'll probably see him go for a pretty like 33-esque build where he goes for this Midas and is gonna mainly just farm. I think it's mainly just weathering the storm, to be honest. They have some spikes to play around, like Manta style is gonna be bid for the Brood, or when Harpoon finishes up, there are different timings still hit. But this is more a farming approach by 9Panda. EG definitely the more active team, looking to take the action to their enemy.
DD denied. Kiyotaka with a little spiderling army out there. Make sure C-Smile doesn't get the bottle refill or the active rune, which is so important for the Storm gameplay. Panda's going to scout him out, but Kiyotaka is going to turn around and fight the Enchantress. He's going to be a little wary with EG bringing numbers into this mid lane. Solo yet again just being this backup plan, the safety net for some of his cores. Sits behind the Brood alongside Antares, but look at the jump in. Chakram the charge, another strike from Matthew. Still lacking that final killing blow, and now a lasso dragging the Spiritbreaker back. 2 ultis for Matthew there to clear him out. I guess primarily defending that mid-tier 1, trying to deny. C-Smile gets the claim.
Yeah, that was expensive for him to bring him down, and they do still lose the tower, so not the worst outcome there for EG. Probably pretty happy about opening the map a little bit. They got the top tower, now got the mid tower, and they can start eyeing up the bottom part of the map. By the way, the Juggernaut is just now finishing his Battle Fury in this centaur last hit he gets. and look over to the Ancients. That is a juicy prep for his Battle Fury. There's a 5 stack? Yeah, 5 stack on the Ancients right now.
And a couple more further to the right as well. Yeah, I mean, Ramses, he's been unbothered, moisturized, just chilling out. Very relaxed in his own lane, in his jungle. Antares getting caught out in the mid lane though. Vortex back in. A good flame break keeps them at bay.
Yeah, they don't have Spirit Breaker ulti yet, so not going to be able to secure the kill on him there, as he's pretty tanky. Got his little Windlace to run away and Bracer to keep himself beefy. Juggernaut starts finishing up the Ancients here as he pulls them back, uses the healing ward, and it's not going to be contested too much. Matthew is coming in, but a little bit too late perhaps. He might actually be able to do something here.
I think Ramses is pretty low, hey? Healing ward is down. Gets off the spin though. So Matthew just going to bonk him a bit and back up.
The sentry spotted him, so his invis move in didn't really surprise the Juggernaut.
Ancients in the end will be cleared out by him. And both Miero and Antares down here looking to stick around on this tier 1 tower, make sure it's no easy push for Whisper, who's planted himself down south. Just trying to hold out onto that kind of dead lane down there.
Yeah, Whisper not really bothering too much with going for like a full save item, going for Kaya first into Sanch. Sanch and Kaya giving him more than enough survivability for now. And then he's gonna go back for a Lotus Orb, it looks. Very good against these single target ultis from a lot of the heroes of 9Panda.
Yeah, even just like bouncing back a cask can really piss people off. You know, you're charging forward, all of a sudden this cask...
Have to wait for him to skill it up though. He's going full in on the Voodoo Restoration Maledict build for now.
Didn't even notice, yeah. He's not even got a point in it.
And he got his Pavis now on solo. Very useful support item.
Oh, I hear Matthew charging.
Oh, cask him! Oh, wait. Oh, Flame Break! Flame Break!
Flame Break! There we go. Stop the Mad Cow from getting across the map. And now a lasso on Sea Smile. Steps forward into the Doom. The double ulti, triple in fact. As Witch Doctor lets it go with the Death Ward. And now an Omni Slash onto Whisper. Oh, 9Pandas, some monumental kills here as they cancel the chain and kill off Whisper.
Oh, a top lane as well. They're losing Picasso. This is disaster all over.
Oh, Matthew's coming here again just a touch too late. Kiyotaka with another solo kill just pops out of the webs in that top lane.
Yeah, runs away to safety as well. That's all 3 cores gone in an instant. What? What just happened, EG?
Yeah, I mean, 2,100 damage from that Brood. The card's just not expecting it. Last time I looked at him, yeah, he's got 2.5 grand saved up on the Bloodseeker. Trying to get straight into the Mjolnir. And see Smile, he's on the hunt again. Antares going to get dragged around. Pavis popped, solo saving up the bat. And see Smile once more expending his entire arsenal to not get anything.
Yeah, he's gonna get a regen rune though, so he'll be fine. He can even bottle up here as well before taking it. Has to wait out for the Maledict a little bit to end. But yeah, they're struggling to connect to anything, and it's supposed to be EG getting kills right now. They're behind the team that just wants to sit back and chill. The Midas Doom, the Juggernaut Battle Fury, the Brood Mid. This team is ahead in kills against the team with Timber and Storm Spirit Breaker. This is a bad news bear for EG right now.
Yeah, the greed is going to start paying off big time. And Panda getting taken down to half HP by the Brood, and Ramses joining in as well. Safeguarding that top jungle just to keep that piece of the pie to themselves, not allowing these invasions to be fruitful for EG.
I'm just looking at Antares as well. He's getting pretty big on this Batrider, already level 10, 2 levels ahead of the supports over on the side of EG.
I'm getting big.
Scaling.
And this is where EG got to start putting their foot down a little bit. Can't let off the gas in this kind of game. We've seen Juggernauts, you know, especially against heroes like, you know, Medusa and stuff, actually outscale them and go super late game and feel comfortable. Here, you know, Bloodseeker, he's much better scaling nowadays than he was previously with, you know, the shard and the item builds he can go for, but I still feel like Juggernaut in a straight up head-on-head clash is going to win out these battles.
He does very heavily outscale him. Like, the problem with Bloodseeker that I see is just his late game is so susceptible to one of the powerful items of the patch, which is Nullifier. You rely on having Blood Rage on you for that 175 attack speed. Well, if someone dispels that, you just don't have it anymore. Doom dispels it, Nullifier would dispel it, and we might see, you know, both of those things on him later.
So we start thinking about like triple Lincolns and multi-Lotus Orbs for them potentially as an aggressive move from 9Pandas.
What?
Oh, Miero. He lifted his arms there, was thinking about the Doom, but doesn't chuck it at C-Smile.
Because C-Smile tried to jump at first, but then the animation cancelled it, and Doom stopped casting ulti because he thought that he wouldn't have time to ulti.
Oh.
What the... okay.
Multi-level mind game going on.
Yes, mind game, Gareth.
Yes. Well, he does dodge the last bit of Maledict with a good ball lightning at least, and no casualties for EG, so they're still out on the battlefield. Panda's up in that top jungle. Looks like he wants to try and get a bit of ward coverage down there. See what 9Pandas are up to. The Broodmother just has so much room, though. Like, the strength of this Brood from the mid lane, she just pivots up top, gets all this jungle farm for herself, and the wide open map is something she can utilize tremendously well.
And she has that Orchid as well, so you gotta be careful when you walk in here. For now, though, Radiant have a high ground ward. We'll see if it gets dewarded. Does Antares realize? Well, they're under a ward.
Yeah, 9Pandas trying to rebuff this. Antares, the first point of contact. Ball lightning, a long one. C-Smile, 80% of his mana down. Antares, Pavis up, and Lasso out. The Storm caught up, but they do get the kill. A ball away as Pakaz joins in. 9Pandas looking to retreat. They've lost the high ground advantage, and the Broodmother getting shredded, but turns with a lifesteal. Trying to fight back into Matthew and Pakaz as C-Smile's drop in the end, trading out for the Brood. Solo in trouble now as well. The Bloodseeker and Spirit Breaker gap close quickly. Get the charge and the run forward as they take down 3.
Yeah, that was a really good fight under a ward for EG to take. They had to observe a ward, it wasn't spotted, and 9Pandas were just caught out of position. There was also some other things going wrong there, like the silence from the Brood's Orchid was used on the Enchantress to try and stop her impetus damage. She only has level 1 impetus. She doesn't do that much damage anyway. You need to silence the Timber, you need to silence the Storm. Either of these heroes would have been a great target, but yeah, that fight... It was a difficult fight to take to begin with for 9Pandas since they didn't have the high ground vision and they were initiated upon.
Man, now we start to see some of these kind of stacking steroid items come in for that Bloodseeker to help him out. Ench with the Solar Crest.
Literally, when it spawns, just immediately taking it here. One of the values of having Juggernaut in your team is that you can go for super early Tormentors with Healing Ward.
Solar's Pavis helping out as well. And pretty quick Ags rush out for this Juggernaut. Battle Fury, Yasha, straight into that Swift Slash.
Very interesting approach, yeah. This is curious to see that he doesn't upgrade the Yasha into either Sanchi Yasha or a Manta style in this game, but rather he wants to have a more fighting approach with this Aghanims, giving himself a way to keep bursting people as well. Is a good response when you get ruptured. Having, you know, 2 Omni Slashes at your disposal, basically. More ways to juke it out.
Yeah, there's just a lot of noise from EG, right? Like Chakram, Rupture, Bloodrite, Charges, Nether Strike, Remnants. Let's put on some noise-cancelling headphones with a Swift Slash and say, no, I'm not dealing with all this crap.
That's a good way to see it. Also a good way to try and DPS into the Enchantress, you know, pop out the Swift Slash. Oh no, the Wisdom Rune, it gets killed by a Centaur.
Denied. Miero's here to chase it back, maybe get a bit of vengeance. Flaming Centaur.
You are the Wisdom Rune now, he says, and Midas is in.
Yep. A little bit of a lull now, though, as it looks like EG just falling back to farm out some Ancients. Get up these neutral items. Get towards their next tier of normal items.
I don't think they should get too complacent on EG, though. Even though they got a good fight there in the previous fight, we still see a 3k gold lead for 9Pandas. 9Pandas actually going to be the ones to make a move now.
I mean, the big difference, this Storm Spirit starting to lag behind the rest of the pack in net worth. So maybe C-Smile thinking, hey, I've got to catch up some way. Well, there's smoke from 9Pandas. Let's see if it can pay off. C-Smile playing very delicately in that mid lane. Balling in and out of vision. Whisper is up on his high ground as well as the scan comes in. Does connect. And Lasso and that Swift Slash. Ramses drop to half HP. They've got a wall stump and the spin comes out. 9Pandas thinking how they want to continue this fight because the Rupture and the Bloodrite causing problems for them now. Doom doesn't get his ulti out and Pakaz sprinting forward. He's going to find the potential here to go for Ramses. Decides Antares not worth his time. He wants the Juggernaut instead. 2 heroes already gone. A third one will fall. And EG, they swing hard.
Yeah, too much hesitation there from the usage of spells as well. Doom not getting his ability out, but yeah, EG, they were in a good position. The smoke gank was coming. They were close enough to each other as they went to try and initiate there with Batrider riding in. They didn't know how much they were getting themselves into right there, as that was meant to be a quick little gank. You know, they didn't have Broodmother. It wasn't a full 5-man rotation. They just wanted to find a pickoff, but too many of EG players were in the area, and this is going to cost them big time. Going straight towards Roche here with the Solar Crest. Managed to tank it.
Yeah, I mean, and Kiyotaka not joining that fight, being very greedy up in his top left corner, and EG exploiting this fact on top of the Broodmother, turning this fight from a 3-0 to a 4-0.
Yeah, losing him as well. This is the power of EG's draft. They have Spiritbreaker, they have Storm, absolutely amazing fighting heroes. Timber, an early game powerhouse that also, you know, becomes pretty tanky later on, but they're playing into their power here by just taking these fights instead of just everyone going farming on separate areas. The fact that they stay together punished the rotation from 9Pandas there.
Yeah, that was that little discussion we had at the end of the draft, right? Thinking about late game scaling for 9Pandas, looking good with Doom, Brood, this Juggernaut, late game Master, but having this kind of map control, the gap closing from EG means nowhere is really that safe on the map. If there's ward coverage down or the ability for Matthew to sneak in behind, if they catch a glimpse of a hero, that at the drop of a hat, they could have 4 men right on top of him.
Yeah, and Matthew, when he's not playing an Invis hero, he turns the hero to an Invis hero. He has that Shadow Blade on Spiritbreaker, so he can start sneaking around, maybe find some initiations for his team, or, of course, just charge in invisibly. Very, very useful for extra damage and a little bit surprise factor.
I guess to take out a wave up top as well. And EG just continued to defend this mid-tier 1, something that Kiyotaka has been eyeing up for a while, but not able to get on top of it.
Not being able to remove the tier 1 tower mid is pretty big for a Broodmother until now, 24 minutes in. Finally, it gets denied by Storm. So map is now a little bit open for 9Pandas, but they still have to be so worrisome about these ganks that you were saying. If you show somewhere on a lane, you might just get killed. Look how many heroes are showing on lanes right now for Dire. 0. They're farming jungle, they're pushing lanes with spiders, they're trying to avoid these rotations.
Yeah, and equally, look at the ward coverage, right? 3 observers up in that top part of the map. They don't see anything deep on the Radiant side. Everyone from EG kind of tucked away, hidden from 9Pandas.
And meanwhile, EG have much more comfortable time pushing out lanes, because you can even just send a Spiritbreaker, send him over there with a Shadow Blade and a charge, you know. He is not a good target to go on. Sure, if he dies, but you can definitely use him to take some more risky creep waves, while the rest of your team can play in a safe way off map.
Well, here comes Lincoln Sphere number 1. C-Smile has almost completed it. Wakaz gets a bit of free reign down bottom. He's got BKB and Aegis, so yeah, he's feeling comfortable to push waves himself. 9Pandas all grouped up top. A very tight-knit group here from the Eastern European squad, trying just to make sure there are no stragglers, no easy targets for EG.
Yeah, they're trying to not bleed kills to this rotation that they have obviously seen how powerful EG are, but this also leads to them farming less than they could. They are not farming the bottom creep wave. Obviously, right now it would be very dangerous, but they're not farming, you know, as aggressively as they perhaps would like to.
And that's where we get that little swing back. It went from, what, 3k lead for 9Pandas back to about 1 or 2 currently for EG. And every one of EG's heroes down to that bottom tier 2. Try and get the most out of this Aegis.
Yeah, they want to get this tier 2, and I don't think there's any good reason for 9Pandas to try and defend this. You just give it up, accept that you're not going to get it. What I would like to see... Actually, are they moving over there with Ramses? I was going to say, I would like to see Ramses try and move himself over to try and steal the enemy Tormentor, since he has Juggernaut. Okay, they're fighting under a ward.
Hello, Matthew. Omni Slash, or is that the Swift Slash? Don't jump across into them, but the Bat Rider is the one to die first. See, Smile, a little zip off to the right-hand side as Ramses used both of his slashes in the middle of that fight, and currently only going to be killing off the Enchantress. Now, wind in the sails for EG. They're going to sprint forward, aiming for solo. Pavis doesn't protect you. All that pure damage out of Whisper, and C-Smile with a long ball in the bash onto the Broodmother, catches Kiyotaka. Disaster strikes for 9Pandas as EG once again swoop in.
The initiation went completely wrong there. It was optimistic to try and take that fight, but his Omni Slash got completely ruined into the creep wave there. He didn't do any real damage to anyone on Juggernaut, and Jug is the type of carry that jumps in, kills something quickly, and then gets out. He didn't. He didn't get the kill that he wanted. He didn't get, you know, a core hero down. They did kill Panda, but that's not really enough. You need to bring down the Timbersaw, the Bloodseeker. I'm surprised they chose to fight that, though. They saw 5 heroes bottom, and I didn't think the 9Pandas were really in position to take the fight, but we can see that they are aggressive. They want to take the fight.
They want to try and get a foothold on this game. And like the Observer was pointing out there as well, just before this Jug got level 20, that's the key talent that we're looking for this Juggernaut heading into late game.
Yeah, that will allow him to actually start trading hits and man fighting up against heroes like Bloodseeker. Be able to stand his ground with the heal that he gets. The downside is, though, he might just get controlled by like a Spearbreaker bash or something and die in that duration. Oh, Matthew gets doomed.
And the first Doom we've seen in quite a while. Onto the Spirit Breaker.
This is melting.
Because of the bulldoze. It's a pretty decent kill, but still, spending Doom on that. Ulti down. They're going to give C-Small a pretty happy time as he just comes out onto the map. Not feeling too threatened anymore.
Yeah, going down to bottom lane now. Kiyotaka and Ramses together. Looking for Panda.
And he's got both slashes ready with a basher in hand. Panda just going to back away. AG have been so good at this, of pressing forward and relinquishing control over bits of the map that they don't feel are worth sticking around and fighting for. Let 9Pandas come down here, get a couple of jungle camps. In the meantime, now C-Small's farming top. We're taking out our Ancients, which has got to be, the biggest things of this patch. Controlling your Ancients. Hey, hello, Antares. Lasso in the mid lane. They've caught out this Bloodseeker, but he's got BKB. Turns around and tries to fight. Maledict and the Death Ward up on him. A Storm zips forward. Swift slash there. Ramses trying to get on his man. Kiyotaka kept alive. Matthew couldn't finish off the job on the Brood. Now with a takedown of the Spirit Breaker, 9Pandas looking to retreat, but another ball in. C-Small's out of mana. He's got nothing left in the tank. Doom and the Juggernaut right on top of him. C-Small in a lot of trouble now. Lower Sword placed on him, but with the Infernal Blade there, they'll slow him to a crawl and a double kill from Jug. Swift slash comes off cooldown, and Whisper, he's getting handled. Does chain up to high ground, but burnt down by Antares and Solo in the end.
Oh, beautiful fight there for 9Pandas. This is exactly what they wanted. A fight where they can finally, stop the Bloodseeker from going in and shredding everyone. Yes, you didn't burst him immediately, but you brought him low enough with the Maledict that he cannot go in and fight. The rest of EG still felt like they can go and fight. Well, Enchantress were trying to tend to the wounds of the Bloodseeker. She went over there with the healing, trying to bring his HP back up, but a fight without Bloodseeker actively hitting stuff, 9Panda actually win that super hard because they just have so much damage output right now.
And just took him out of the fight completely, and they're onto tier 2 now. Oh, they're all warmed up, 9Pandas. Healing ward down. Glyph used up. Not going to matter too much though, just delaying the demise of this objective in the mid lane. And even thinking about high ground with this DD on Kiyotaka. Broodmother building her army. Catapult wave arriving, and EG don't have two core heroes for another, what, 15 and 25 seconds?
It's a long time. They can push this, for sure.
Bloodright's thrown out there just to try and slow this down a little bit, but there's no brakes on this train from 9Pandas.
Okay, finally gonna back out. They don't want to give an easy fight here, don't want to give a 5v5, so gonna back out, respecting that they could get caught by Spearbreaker and Storm on the way out, so they don't lose anything really, and now they've opened up the enemy base as well. Really, really big times for 9Panda as they can just take control of the map. What they need to do now is just make sure they don't play under vision. A gem would be fantastic for them as the map has become pretty wide open and you don't want to lose heroes to Storm and Spearbreaker.
Yeah. I just imagine the team comms, Captain Solo saying, guys, stick together, buddy system. And it's not just the buddy system in effect, it's the full 5-man squad, stick together. Currently under Radiant Vision though. Yeah. This Observer Ward deep in the Ancient spots them all out.
They're being charged as well, so he still has vision, sees that they're going for Tormentor. The entire team is heading over there with a smoke on EG, but they're not going to be in time to stop the Tormentor. We'll see if they can maybe pick them off as they back out here.
Oh, they cancels the charge there, Matthew.
Look at the discipline by 9Panda. They feel it. They're like, nobody's showing, guys. We don't see anyone. This is sus. Very suspicious.
It really is. And another minute and a half to go for Roche. We know that. But the players, for all intents and purposes, could be right up right now.
Nullfire complete on
there it is.
This is a massive, massive power spike right there.
That's the key item you've been talking about. Against this Bloodseeker as the smokes break. Miero jumps in. Pakaz trying to find a target as Miero throws the Doom forward. Get into the midst of battle as the Spirit Breaker getting slapped down, and they got the Doom on the Bloodseeker as well. Swift Slash going to jump in. The Omni Slash clears through too. Oh, C-Small about to die. He's gone. A double kill for the Jug. Whisper, the only man left standing, going for the TP home, and he's successful. But this completely gives up this bottom right corner of the map.
Yeah, Roche is going to spawn in 45 seconds as well. They tried to burst the Juggernaut there, going in, but they just don't have that fast burst damage against him. Yeah, you have great ganking heroes, but when it comes to team fights, you can't really just bring down a hero that fast. Compared to the Omni Slash, the Lasso, the Doom, these abilities that you have on the side of 9Panda, they just get the number advantage much faster here. If you look at the overall damage output as well, Jug got low, then he popped the ulti, full HP. He Swift Slash, he ulti, and the crits, they just heal him so much.
Same amount of damage as the entire EG team there. That's posting up wild numbers. Now
that was when you focused him. That was when you initiated on him.
Yeah, nutty stuff. Well, since opening up that mid lane, now you go to melee barracks and swing down bottom. Yeah, Tonka's set up for this, and 9Pandas and on the brink here of winning this best of one. EG with 1 foot in the grave. Glyph there just to hold them back, and a ball lightning zip forward and back again from C Smile.
Oh,
not going to stop Ramses from finishing off this final building.
Backing
Not
out
too
now.
worried.
Solo ready to protect, has the pipe and the holy lockets.
Recharge in, EG. And not hard committing to this, just a bit of soft poking there onto Ramsey. See if 9Pandas would maybe react. Kiyotaka.
Setting up a trap.
What's he up to? Lurking in the tree line.
I love this solo item build on Witch Doctor, man. He's getting so tanky right now. He's got a Helm of Iron Will going Crimson Guard next. Oh, that lasso.
There we go in. And the Doom. This Timber Sword dragged up atop the cliff. Swift Slash and a final bit of damage dishes it out. Dead for 80 with buyback available.
Force damage 10. A little bit of a cliff moment here. Enjoying the scene.
I'm the king of the castle.
He's tired of this. TP. TP's top, pushes top, and then he's gonna portal. Well, actually, don't even need to portal. Roche is about to join him on the top lane soon.
Matthew is going to come and bonk the creep wave and run away. Yeah, you're right with that twin gate. 9Pandas. They repurpose themselves up to the top left.
I think the timing here for EG is that they need to play around the Hex that Whisper is working on. If he gets the Hex, then maybe they can start making plays. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't go for Shivas in this game. When you're playing against the heal build from Witch Doctor, the Juggernaut with the crit lifesteal, the healing ward, the Broodmother with the heal from the Q. I feel like there's so many ways that they are healing on the side of 9Pandas. And the Shivas isn't a bad item to begin with on Timbersaw.
That could be pretty solid. There's just no way to get to this Roche pit in time. EG nowhere in the vicinity. Just gonna hand over his goodies to 9Pandas. So Aegis for Ramses. And like you said in that previous fight, he was the one that was focused and gone on. If you couldn't kill him off once, he's just gonna run up to your high ground and have 2 lives to play with.
Yeah, he's incredibly secure now with this. Gonna keep himself completely healthy and alive. And we see, of course, the Broodmother getting stronger as well, not just the Juggernaut. Jug, full Abyssal coming in on his Courier, and Brood about to complete an Eye of Skadi very soon.
And there's a DD rune that spawned up at top as well. If that Courier could go and just go scout it out and see what's going on.
Could see it. At the same time, by the way, speaking of Shivas, the Doom does have his Shivas against Ench and Bloodseeker heals. Nullfire to stop Bloodseeker Q and, I don't know,
Oh, the jump.
Grab.
It's just so quick. They blow up Panda, Doom the Spirit Breaker, catching both of the supports out. 9Pandas, advantage as they push high ground. One buyback's being used, the Lotus Orb bouncing back the Omni Slash. Picard survives as C-Small gets bashed up. Can they connect more stuns on him as Ramses? He's being focused a bit here by Whisper and Panda. Deep in behind the tier 3 tower, the Juggernaut with another jump. Swift Slash onto the edge and gets the kill. Lifesteal's back up to a third of his HP, surviving through it all while in the backlines. Oh, Picard, he tried. He went in there looking for targets, but he gets turned on.
Solo's still alive.
9Pandas. Solo's still up and running. This man can't be stopped. Evil Genius is gonna get handled here, and GG is called. They tap out with this best of one.
So you know how in just a few seconds that Juggernaut disposed of the entire enemy team? Well, during the same amount of time, Pakas was literally just running at the Witch Doctor. He runs at him, tries to kill him, Witch Doctor uses Shard and hides in that, and then after he comes out, he starts hitting him and realizes, wait, hold up a second, I'm not even killing this man. This Witch Doctor just lived. He walked away from the Bloodseeker with his helm and just tanked through it all. He didn't really seem that phased, honestly.
No, not bothered at all. I mean, this was a fight that went a little poorly for 9Pandas with that Omni Slash jumping to creeps. AG was still able to kind of play aggressively into Ancients, really utilizing all of this gap close and catch that they've got on their side. Yeah, as we head into that later portion of the game, having this Brood and Juggernaut absolutely stacked was really uncontrollable.
Yeah, it was always the case when we look at the draft that they're going to scale really hard into... Once they get items, they will just win the fights most likely, but the initiations were really clean. Gotta say, Antares and Miero, they had good coordination on who they jump, how they jump. They didn't mess up their abilities in any way, like, you know, insta-dooming, insta-lassoing the same target when it's not needed. I think, overall, there were moments when 9Pandas took fights that were a little bit questionable, but at the same time, EG, they didn't keep their foot on the gas. They needed to dominate this game start to finish, and if you give just a little bit of leeway, this draft from 9Panda, they farm their way back into it and just take over the game.
Yeah, well, once we had the double Lincolns plus Lotus all picked up, like you said, these two kind of catch heroes, the Doom and the Batrider, said, okay, screw it, we'll just focus on the Ancient Spirit Breaker. We'll get the numbers advantage another way. Ignore the rest of them until the latter stage of the fight. Let Juggernaut deal with those boys.
Yeah. Look, during this part of the highlights here, Juggernaut, of course, amazing Swift Slash, heals himself up, keeping himself alive. He still had Aegis, he wasn't even worried. But during all that time, this Witch Doctor is just being run out. Look, Bloodseeker trying to get him, and he's just not bothered. Obviously, he got a lot of help from his team as well with the stunts and saves. But yeah, this was a very strong performance, I want to say, in the first game. 9Pandas now going to move on as they win this one. They're going to go up against LGD. And EG now facing potential elimination in this, potential elimination from the tiebreaker. If 9Pandas are successful in winning here, they will be the winners of the tiebreaker.
Yeah, one best of one. They just need to win against LGD, then they're guaranteed that upper bracket slot. Of course, and none of these teams getting dumped out of the tournament. They're all in, just trying to find out that kind of seeding and who goes a little bit further forward. We do have more best of ones coming, though, so a quick break before 9Pandas against LGD.